There comes a moment in every man's life, a quiet, defining moment, when he realizes that dreams alone are not enough, that wishing, hoping, and visualizing are only sparks. And without the fire of discipline, those sparks die before they ever light the world. Discipline is the great separator. It is the invisible bridge between what you imagine and what you become. It is the force that transforms the language of desire into the reality of creation. And while the world chases comfort, the discipline chases greatness, brick by brick, breath by breath. You see, every man dreams. Every woman envisions something better. But the ones who rise, the ones who build, the ones who rewrite history, they are not the ones who dreamed the biggest. They are the ones who kept showing up when their dreams demanded everything from them. When Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times to bring light into the darkness, it was not genius that carried him, it was discipline. When Henry Ford was laughed out of his own factories, it was not money that saved him, it was discipline. When Walt Disney was told he had no imagination, he did not retreat. He built his castle with discipline as the cornerstone. Discipline is the truth about success that most people will never want to hear, because it does not feel good. It is not glamorous. It demands that you sacrifice your comfort for your calling. It whispers every single day, "Do it again." The dreamers fantasize. The disciplined build empires. Music deepens, slow pulse, cinematic strings rise. There is no greatness without repetition, no power without control, no mastery without routine. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up when your body is tired, when your mind is restless, when your emotions beg you to stop. It's about pushing beyond the illusion of motivation and operating on commitment. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation may get you started, but discipline keeps the fire alive when the night is long and the path is uncertain. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They made a decision to stay consistent long after the mood left them. They trained their minds to act, not react. They built habits so strong that success became inevitable. And here lies the greatest truth of all. Discipline is freedom. The world has it backwards. People believe discipline is restriction. They think structure kills creativity, that routine kills joy. But in truth, discipline is what gives birth to freedom. Because when you master yourself, you become unstoppable. When you control your time, your focus, your energy, the world bends to your will. Freedom is not found in doing whatever you want. Freedom is found in doing what must be done, until what must be done becomes what you love to do. Tempo rises, the narrator's voice becomes sharper, more commanding. Every great architect first mastered the hum. There comes a moment, after the noise fades, after the struggle quiets, after the victory settles into silence, when you realize that discipline was never about control. It was about freedom. Because the disciplined are the freest souls on earth. They are not ruled by emotion, or circumstance, or opinion. They are ruled by purpose. They do not move with the crowd, they move with conviction. They do not wait for inspiration, they create it. And in doing so, they rise. Not above others, but above their old selves. A soft hum of a cello joins the piano. The voice becomes more intimate. Discipline is not punishment, it's alignment. It's the daily act of remembering who you said you'd be. It's honoring your promise to yourself when no one else is watching. That's why the disciplined don't need validation. They have peace. They sleep well because they know they kept their word. They walk tall because they know they've earned their pace. And every night, when the world sleeps in comfort, they rest in fulfillment. Pause. Sound of soft rain. The voice becomes reflective, almost meditative. Every morning you rise with purpose. You tell the universe, "I am still here." Every time you choose effort over ease. You whisper, "I am still becoming." and the universe listens. It rewards the one who moves without guarantees. It favors the one who works without applause. It trusts the one who shows up, even in silence. Because faith is not loud. It's patient. It's disciplined. Music begins to rise again, gentle orchestral strings, emotional and pure. You see, there is no greatness without surrender. No mastery without repetition. No transformation without sacrifice. You must give your comfort to gain your calling. You must let go of who you were to make room for who you can become. And the bridge you build, through pain, repetition, and persistence, is not just leading you towards success. It's leading you home. Home to your higher self. Home to the person you were always meant to be. A subtle choir enters, soft, angelic, reverent. The voice becomes slow and commanding. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are in the process. And the process is sacred, because through it, you learn to respect time, to honor the climb, to fall in love, not with the finish line, but with every single step that got you there. That is where life happens. That is where the soul expands. Piano fades back in, hopeful melody. When you live with discipline, every action becomes a prayer. Every repetition becomes a declaration. Every moment becomes a piece of eternity. Because greatness isn't found in a single act, it's built in thousands of quiet, unseen moments. Moments when you said no to comfort. Moments when you said yes to growth. Moments when you didn't quit. Those are the bricks that build your destiny. That's the architecture of greatness. The music begins to swell, St. You have walked through doubt, through fatigue, through noise. You have faced the temptation to stop, and you have kept going. That is discipline, the silent victory that no one celebrates, but everyone eventually sees. Because the truth is, the world doesn't reward the loudest, it rewards the most consistent. It rewards those who show up long enough to deserve what they desire. Every stroke of the sculptor's chisel looks insignificant until the statue emerges. Every swing of the blacksmith's hammer looks repetitive until the blade is sharp. Every repetition, every decision, every unseen act of self-control, it all compounds. You may not see the result today. You may not see it tomorrow. But make no mistake, discipline always pays its debt. It is the one investment that never fails. Music deepens, strings swell with hope and gravity. So if you find yourself in the grind, if you're tired, doubting, wondering whether your effort matters, remember this. The invisible days are the most important ones. Because that's when you're being built. Not the dream, not the result, you. The dream will come. But you, the disciplined, relentless version of you, must come first. Because you cannot attract success at the level of discipline you refuse to practice. You cannot hold greatness with the hands of complacency. To reach the mountain, you must first become the climber. And the climber is born in discipline. A low drum begins, heartbeat tempo. The voice strengthens. Discipline sharpens your edges. It molds your character. It teaches you what you are made of when the applause is gone, when the results are delayed, when no one else believes. That is when you discover your real power, the power of persistence. Persistence is the echo of discipline. It's what keeps you in the fight when the world has already left the battlefield. And when you persist long enough, life begins to yield. Not because it pities you, but because it respects you. The universe respects consistency. It bows to those who move with conviction, not emotion. Music intensifies. Orchestral energy builds. Cinematic crescendo begins. Look around you. Everything you admire, every tower, every invention, every success story, is a monument to discipline. Discipline built the pyramids. Discipline crossed the oceans. Discipline put men on the moon. It is the same force that can build your dream, if you are willing to give it your devotion. Because discipline is not a talent. It's a decision, made over and over again until it becomes identity. The disciplined don't need reminders, they have rituals. They don't seek balance, they seek alignment. They don't chase rewards, they embody principles. That is why they win. That is why they last. Music drops to silence. The voice becomes low and deliberate. There is no easy road, no secret shortcut, no path without pain. But there is a way, and that way is discipline. Step after step. The world will never hand you your vision. It will test you for it. It will challenge your commitment to see whether you're worthy of what you've asked for. Every delay, every rejection, every dark night of doubt, all of it is the world asking you one question. How bad do you want it? And in those moments, your answer is not found in your words. It's found in your discipline. Because talk is easy. Dreams are easy. But discipline costs something. It costs your comfort. It costs your excuses. It costs the weaker version of you that you must bury to become who you were meant to be. Slow, rhythmic percussion enters, heartbeat pace. You see, the mind will always look for the path of least resistance. It will tell you, just take a break. You've done enough. It will whisper, tomorrow. Start tomorrow. And if you listen long enough, tomorrow becomes a lifetime. A lifetime of almosts. Of could have beens. Of dreams left unbuilt. But the disciplined don't wait for the perfect moment, they create it. They rise before the world wakes. They move when the body aches. They stay when others leave. Because discipline is not about what you feel, it's about what you've chosen to become. Music swells, strings and light brass enter. Understand this. Every great transformation begins with a single decision, the decision to stop negotiating with your excuses. The moment you say, I will no longer be held hostage by my moods. I will no longer wait for motivation. I will no longer waste my potential. That is the moment your life begins to change. You must claim your future through disciplined action. You must prove to yourself that you can be trusted with greatness. Because discipline is the purest form of self-respect. It is the act of saying, I am worthy of my own effort. I will not abandon myself when it gets hard. Softening tone, intimate, almost whispering now. You cannot build a powerful life with a fragile mind. And discipline forges the mind like fire forges steel. When you rise early, you train your willpower. When you follow through, you strengthen your integrity. When you push past resistance, you rewire your entire identity. Every act of discipline tells your subconscious, I am in control. And soon, your mind begins to obey you, not the other way around. That is when you become dangerous. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to your old self, the one that quit too soon, the one that doubted, delayed, and distracted. Because once discipline becomes who you are, failure becomes temporary, and victory becomes inevitable. Music deepens. Low drums, wind, cinematic atmosphere. Look back through history. Every empire, every discovery, every revolution was built on this same foundation, the daily, disciplined pursuit of a vision that seemed impossible. The Wright brothers had no map, no technology, no permission, just faith and discipline. Carnegie had no and he.